Hi, this is Jamie Diaz with Barks to Basics. Welcome. Today I have my podcast pal, Amanda Kreiner. Hi, Amanda.
Hi, Jamie.
So we missed one of our Q&As, and we get dog questions all the time from everybody. So we wanted to, I have my live on again, but I have a ton of questions from those that I wanted to get to. But I think it's like super important for people to get real answers from real trainers. So hopefully it's helpful. So we're going to dive right in.
Wait, you didn't announce the show.
I did. Oh, I'm sorry. This is Q&A with J&A. I forgot. We're trying to get that to be like a thing. So, okay, hold on. Let me go back here. There was a lot of questions. Okay, this is a good one. My puppy is currently crate training and doing so well, but she's waking up at 3 a.m. every night. So, Pamela, if you're still on, how old is your dog? I'm assuming they're already over than 8 weeks. So, this actually happens with babies too, but happens all the time with puppies. So, in the beginning, you get the puppy and you're starting to like take them out. Hopefully only once in the middle of the night, maybe like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Mm-hmm. And then it becomes like a habit. So you really just have to ignore that 3 a.m. potty time. Like ignore it. The worst that's going to happen is your dog's going to pee. And I would say 90% of the time, that's not what happens. They cry and go back to sleep because their internal clock is waking them up at 3 a.m. And if you don't ignore it, they're going to do that forever. I usually tell people 3 nights in a row, ignoring it, and then that behavior will stop. Have you have you heard this before with like the puppies that you're working, or sometimes people will be like, they wake up at 5 a.m. every day or 4:45, and now like these people are getting up at 4:45 on a Saturday or a Sunday.
Yeah, we had a new dog start at the center, and the great owner, it's a great dog. They like just adopted him. They don't know how old he is or anything like that. He's like a puppy, but they don't know his exact age. They had him for about a week, and she's like, so I'm setting my alarm every like 3 hours throughout the night. Is that too much? Is that not too much? And I was like, I think at the beginning, that's definitely what you should do. Like make sure it's you're setting your dog up for success. You know, they know that they need to go outside to potty, but also I was like, is the dog pottying every time you take him out?
He probably will be, but I would never set an alarm. Ever.
Really?
Never.
Yeah, she was like, I was so afraid. And I was like, because they're going out of town. She's like, do I have the person watching set an alarm? I was like, no. I was like, you can go check on him. But like, if he's quiet in there, go back to bed.
So never wake a sleeping baby. And if I'm serious, never wake a sleeping baby. At 9 weeks old, all the puppies, and I've done a ton of board and trains. At 9 weeks old, the puppy can sleep through the night till 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Easily. So the fact that you're waking them up, again, we're starting that problem with the clock.
They were waking him up. He was already awake. So that's why they were setting the alarm, because he was like screaming every 3 to 4 hours. So they were setting their alarm every 3 to 4 hours.
Okay.
If that is different. I don't know if you look like you're like, no.
I would still ignore that crying that time. You know what I mean? I would ignore that. It does take, and there is so much information out there about puppies and potty training, and there's even trainers on social media I'm just going to come from like my end, because I can only come from obviously the education I have, but personal experience after time after time after time after time with the puppies crying. They are going to be a little bit in stress those first like 3 nights. Yeah. And I tell people after those 3 nights, I promise you, your dog is going to get dramatically better, if not sleep through the whole entire night. And I like literally beg people, like, I promise you, if you can get through those 3 nights. Now, that being said, there's trainers sometimes on social media that will say how bad that is for your dog to be like stressed like that, and that they are exhibiting stress. But I also will say, and I'm not like trying to be a jerk, but I don't know if they have kids or not. It's literally the same as like a baby crying out and letting the baby cry. So I sleep trained my Grayson at 4 months old. She was a horrendous baby. After that, she was amazing, but horrendous baby. And I can remember And literally it was like 3 times too. So the first time I did it, they scream and you're like so stressed. So I feel like it's the same with the puppy, right? They're screaming, you know, they're stressed. Sometimes it sounds like they're dying. So that's what a baby does. And I remember that I was like, I cannot live like this. I cannot, Grayson just said Claudia's watching the podcast. Hi, Claudia. I cannot, live like this with getting up. So it's the same like puppies. Like I can't live waking up at 3 a.m. every day. So I put Grayson in the crate.
You put Grayson in the crate?
In the crate. Oops. I did not put my daughter in the crib.
The truth comes out.
I put her in the crib. So I put her in the crib and I sat in there because they're not really like with it. They don't know. And she was 4 months old. I put her in there. She screamed for 2 minutes and 36 seconds. And I remember because I timed it and I was like talking myself through. I'm like, all right, if it gets to 5 minutes, or like even I was like, if it gets to 5 minutes, because you don't know either how long they're crying. I tell people to like time it.
Yeah.
I timed her. It was 2 minutes and 36 seconds, and she found her thumb and she put herself to sleep, or whatever she did, she put herself to sleep. I went out the next day. I did the same thing for the nap time. By the 3rd day, I like literally said to my husband, I was like, put her in and walk out. Don't do any of your, anything. Just put her in. And she literally learned to self-soothe and she learned how to like put herself to sleep. And I know it is not exactly the same as raising a baby and raising a puppy. I understand that. But even human beings, we're putting through that stress. Like the dog is going to be okay crying for a couple of nights. I promise you. And after that 3rd night, the dogs like love their crate.
Well, and you have to think too, you're not just like cold turkey throwing them in only at night. If you're crate training your dog, you're also doing things during the day, or you should be, like crate games, feeding them in their crate, putting toys in there, letting them go in and out, like snuff mats, things that create that positive association. So it will get easier. You just have to keep doing it.
Yeah, you just have to keep doing it. So I love that question. There's more puppy ones too, but how can I break that habit for a 3-year-old? Oh, this was a good one. My advice for a 3-year-old golden who is I have my readers on. It's still hard for me to read. Afraid of my floors and slips.
Oh, that golden. Goldens are the best. They're my favorite.
I can only buy so many rugs. Favorite.
Oh, your poor house.
I know.
You got to start doing yoga mat. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes, that's what I usually recommend. This is not uncommon. I've dealt with this like a bunch of times. And sometimes it's like all of a sudden. It's not like...
I was training a service dog and we went into Macy's and she got on the glossy floors and like her world fell apart. Oh. And your mom was like, what's wrong with her? And I'm like trying not to die laughing because it was so funny. I felt bad for her, but I was like, oh my gosh, great with everything. But it was like the floor was lava for this poor dog. So it's so freaking funny. But yeah, you just...
Well, that's why too, as puppies, you have to like... have your dogs experience a lot of surfaces and different things, and they really don't know what it is. They're like, what is that? So yes, I suggested to my one virtual client, actually the one that I did. When is that one coming out with my virtual podcast?
I don't know when this one's coming out next month. Okay. So before this one, don't talk about that stuff.
Oh, sorry. Just kidding. I was just wondering because I just thought of it. I don't know why I'm clapping. So I had suggested, she said he was weird with floors, and I suggested the yoga mats and spread it out. Food, right? So make it a game, like even if it's the yoga mats because they don't slip, make it a game, put food there, and then like might be after a week, but take one of the squares away. Yeah. And then take another square away. And if they're still afraid, but usually you get them kind of counter conditioned to it and they're able to like walk on it. The answer is not going to be that your dog's never going to walk on your floors.
And there's things you can do too. Like when I did rehab with dogs, we would specifically, because they were slipping and it could hurt them and they're already in recovery, like you can shave their paw pads, like it's little hairs between their toes. There's like little things you can do where it's like little stickies you put on your, if that's like an issue that could also help in the training process. I feel like is not just doing like obedience stuff with them, but like training, but also making it easier at the same time. Not
Yeah.
something you always have to do, but like I know Raja, since she's older, her little hairs between her toes are like she's got Grinch feet under there right now.
I did
She's
get a
slipping
good
everywhere.
razor from TikTok for that.
For you or for your dog?
Well, for me, for my mustache, but no, I do have a mustache trimmer.
She told me one day, she's like, no one told me that I had a mustache.
I did
you didn't
have a
tell
mustache.
me. And now I'm like, every time you look in the mirror, I'm like, oh my God, I have one too.
It was for my ladies.
What happens when you are in your
Ladies.
third? I'm about to be 34.
All
and I'm
right,
like,
I'm in my 40s.
What happens?
So shave your face. There's things out there, dermablade or whatever. Shave your face because your hair is there.
Oh, gosh, what
I did have a
happens?
mustache, but they have it was for the photo shoot for my book too. So hopefully don't zoom
She
in
was
when my
so
book
mad.
comes
She's
out.
like, Amanda, you're with me all the time. You didn't tell me. I'm like,
But they have a
didn't
razor
notice.
for that in between their toes. But good
Yeah.
point with back to
Back to dog
the
stuff.
toes. Yeah, the dog stuff. All right, hold on. Let me see. Okay. 10-week-old golden retriever, these Goldens, puppy, and he's a shark. He doesn't let go. I will say, I remember there was a King Charles, which are little and cute. I was doing privates with them. This was years ago. Walking into that house, and I had like the sneakers on. First of all, of course, they're all razor sharp, but he was such a bad. There's just some puppies and breeds
like biting your ankles or like your feet or
so
what?
bad. Like you couldn't get him off the shoe. Like I was spraying bitter apple on the shoes. I was trying to do like everything.
Yikes.
Yeah. So now in hindsight, because there was a lot of things that I like tell clients now that I never used to tell. Like he was a puppy and he did use the crate, but I didn't ask like, is he napping during the day? Like your dog should be getting at least 2-2-hour naps in the day. At least a 2-2-hour span.
He was overtired.
I think he was overtired and but that being said, dogs like Goldens and Labs, they are mouthier.
Yeah.
They do like hurt. So I usually say less petting and activity, potty crate. Like literally like feed your dog into different ways of like mental stimulation, and they're not going to like sit with you. So, again, same with like sometimes a toddler. If anyone ever has a 1-year-old, you're literally my friend was over for Super Bowl. Her daughter's 15 months. The whole party, she chased her daughter around, walking around because they just don't sit. Oh, I want her to sit and cuddle with me, but they're not going. Either is a puppy for most of the times. Yes, when they're groggy and like tired, they're going to sit with you, but they're like, go, go, go. So if you don't create that like routine for them and they need that like crate time. So I think that puppy, yes, bad teether, but also probably so overstimulated.
Yeah.
From like everything.
Yeah. I mean, when Raja was a puppy, she was mouthy. And every time I was like on the floor playing with her, if she like went towards my hands, I just shove a bone in her mouth. So just redirect her. And now she loves bones. She chews on every time she's like antsy, she'll just go and grab one on her own. It's almost like I taught her how to self-soothe.
So I love that you said that because some people will say my dog has he's a million toys and toys are not good for teething. Like meaning, I mean, some dogs like them, but they're not going to help fix that urge like stuffy toys. Again, bones.
That's why they tear them apart and then it's like done.
Bones, it has to be a bone that you put it down and your dog is literally going to sit there for 20 to 40 minutes on the bone. If you just see bones laying around the house, like your dog's not that into it. I can't put certain bones out and Finley's going to like leave it. Like, so there's so many different ones. Like I love the trachea ones and I stuff them. They're like hollow and I stuff those. Bully sticks, obviously I smear. So if they don't really like the bully stick, to get them enticed at first, I'll smear cream cheese or peanut butter, freeze it. But your dog needs a bone that like he loves to like chew. And same with Finley. I like kept giving bones. And now he kind of knows how to do that. But you have to find something like for your dog to chew.
Yeah.
Let's see. I saved this one just because there's management and training. Is there any way? Did you
hear that?
Yeah.
Is that your phone again?
No.
Like once? No.
Is there any, I shut everything off. Is there any way to keep my dog out of the trash when we're not there? Yes.
Put the trash up.
Lids too. Take the trash out of me. Get garbage cans with lids or shut your doors. So if your dog loves toilet paper, to be able to teach a dog that really loves something, whatever it could be, it's like fun to rip up like toilet paper and run around with it. You just pull it
and it keeps coming and coming and coming.
That's amazing. So fun. So either shut your bathroom doors.
Yes.
Or get all of my garbage cans have lids. Even if my dog's never had a bad problem with garbage like cans, but all the bathroom ones, every single can has a lid on it.
And guys, once they start, it's all done. They're never going to stop because it's like treasure chest in there of things that they can find and sniff. And, so it's like you have to manage it. You have to. And I feel like if it's already a problem, I wouldn't even like leave it out. You have to put it away and give it at least like 2 solid weeks of there being no garbage can near them at all, and then reintroduce it and start the training.
With the lid. Yeah. So it's kind of like counter surfing. And once your dog gets a taste of that, right, it's kind of the same thing. Because there's dogs that have literally will knock down the whole trash can, even if you have a lid, that they're able to do that. So like Amanda said, I think you're right. You need to like completely get it away. There's no chance, set them up for success, and then we'll build from that. But you first have to like cut the habit out and go from there. Okay. But I wanted to save that one because my puppy just stopped biting everything. I feel like we kind of, so this one said, will the leave it cue work for window aggressive? And I think I asked if it was in the car, but it's not. It's in Roddy, 9 years old. I don't know if that might be a different one. So obviously, first thing I would say, block windows if your dog's barking out of them. But now everybody has those beautiful open concept with windows everywhere. So those are a little tougher. I remember my dog, Oreo, he would want the lizards. So he'd like bark at the lizards. And always if I was on the phone, and people have said this, I have so many clients that their dogs will like, as soon as you get on the phone, they'll start like carrying on. It's like so funny because you're probably like yelling at them and giving them attention. Yeah. So Oreo, when I get on the phone and there's a lizard outside, he'd like bark at it. And I was like, they were asking if leave it would work. Leave it would work for the moment. Yeah. Like maybe leave it with then a Stuff-O-Mat or Licky Mat or something like that.
They have to have something of like higher value every single time you say leave it at the window, or else there's no point in asking.
And then it's also going to be annoying if they like, again, with the jump, they leave it, go back. They leave it, go back. So I like frosted, look kind of ghetto. I didn't care. I was able. It was like this nice slider, and my husband got the like,
it's like wintertime out there.
It's like $20 at Home Depot. You can like frost the bottom part, and I frosted the bottom part.
That's be careful. Not a bad idea.
Be careful if you do that the dog cannot jump. Because I've had clients frost, but then when their dog jumps up, they like can pop their head over. They do it actually at the rescue at Peggy Adams. They have it frosted, and now the dogs have learned to jump to see out.
You gotta frost the whole thing then.
So now they're reinforced, right, for the jumping. So it's just, so make sure it's high enough, and you don't have to keep it forever, but it does stop the dog from doing that, from having to like.
Well, you have to extinguish the behavior first, and that way they forget about it.
Yeah, extinguish it and then like go from there. There's other things, counter conditioning, when people are walking past the window. If it's kind of like with reactivity, they can look. You could say yes and reward. Look, yes and reward. So there is training things. I just feel like it's a lot faster with management. Certain things.
Yeah. I feel like if you can do something to make it easier first, and then bring training into it, the training is you're going to see success faster. Yeah. It's like with anxious dogs. If you put your dog on a medication after talking to a vet or a behaviorist, and then you begin introducing them to whatever was making them anxious, that dog is going to progress so much faster because their nerves and everything are going to be calmer. They're not going to be already thinking they're going to react. Like with the flat, like no meds, no nothing, or whatever you're doing to make their, like with the yoga mats and stuff, you're making it easier for them, and then you're working on it. So it's less stressful.
Success for sure. Hold on. I don't know who that Roddy was. Oh, here it is. Okay.
We're answering live questions too, guys, now. So when you can't hear Jamie or myself, we're searching for those questions for you. So give us
all right. These are two good ones. One is let me pull this closer since it's just on me so I can see. Help my 1-year-old Roddy acts crazy in his crate when I'm around, but fine with my hubby. So I would say, where's the crate? Is it covered? Like, how is he seeing you and not your hubby? So I think a mistake for a lot of people, and this is a lot of people, but I'll be like, where is your crate? And it'll be
in the living room.
In the living room.
In the bedroom.
Like in the middle of everything that's going on. So the point of the crate is that it's away. So if your dog is away, covered, white noise machine is what I have my dog, and what I suggest for most people, but it has to be somewhere away. So I think your crate is in the wrong place.
Yeah.
That once we get your crate into the right place, it'll be a lot easier for you.
And
right?
you've probably like not on purpose giving your dog attention in the crate, where it's same thing with me. Like my husband can just like walk in and ignore Raja and do his thing. I walk in and I'm like, Raja, we have our own little moment and it's great. So she like gets so excited. And then he's like, why doesn't she get excited when I come home? It's the same thing.
Did you do the,
so,
which is fine.
Yeah. But at some point it's like, okay, what am I doing to change the environment that causes the dog to react?
By the way, I can't say a lot of things that your dog does is because of us and our routine and how we've done things. And if you're a helicopter mom with your dog and you're on top of them all the time, and then all of a sudden you want to start leaving them more and stuff, like your dog's gonna have a hard time with it. So it's really like, do you want to create an independent like dog, or do you want your dog to be all over you? Okay, find my hubby. Okay, any tips on a new puppy wanting to play rough with older small dog that won't defend boundaries? So, first of all, puppies are really annoying to older dogs. Big, small.
I'm just like, oh my gosh, your poor older dog right now.
I made that mistake. So we always think like our dogs that are, my dog was dying of renal failure, and I was like, I think he needs a friend.
Stop, you weren't that person.
I did.
I hate that. They're like, it'll bring her back to life. No, it's going to kill her faster.
He was only 5, first of all. He was bad with big kidneys. So it wasn't like a 16-year-old dog, but he did not want another dog in his life at all. No. And I did it. And now I know how these dogs feel. People will get an older, or you'll have like a 12 or 13-year-old dog, like you have Raja, right? And you're like, just say she'd be fine with a puppy. You're like, I want to bring a new life and blah, blah, blah. So you start doing that. But then the older dog is like, I loved my life the way it was. Yeah. Some will not, some not, but for most older dogs,
and they like you take them to daycare and they play with other dogs and they're still active. I feel like that could be a different experience. Yeah. But like, most like Raja would be like, oh hell no, like get out of my bubble. I have my own routine. Like I imagine that littler dog that's older being like stressed, biting the other dog, reacting towards the other dog now. So like your best bet, I think you need to like manage it and separate them and like kind of let them live their own separate lives.
And that's what I had to do when they were together. But okay, you're already there now. The dogs are together. So what I would say is it does get better. If a lot of management, so a lot of breaks for your puppy in the crate, so that your dog can have that time like out to be like fine by himself, So Finley, Ritz is older. He's 15. He's going to be 16 in the summer, which is like old. And
that's
he's still,
an old man,
right? He still actually gets the zoomies and stuff, but sometimes, yeah, he does. He's like, so sometimes Finley gets like annoying with him and like bashing him and not just playing, and then I'm like, nope, it's time. I put him in the crate with like frozen
dogs don't know that they're like Finley doesn't know that Ritz is an old fart. Yeah, like he sees a dog and he's like, oh, we play.
He leaves them alone a lot of the time, but sometimes he just like wants to play. So I would say more management with your small dog, creating boundaries. You're not going to be. Listen, in a perfect world, I'm going to put my puppy in his place and have him stay while my older dog, like, that's not going to happen. That's like a lot of training to get them like to leave each other alone. It's just like, I'm going to bring my kid to the playground. You can't play with anybody and you can't play with anything. You're not going to be able to do that. They're going to want to play. So you're going to have to manage those boundaries and give a little bit more separation time. You want to put them together, do a walk. Walks are great ways to like get dogs together. So they're still having that time together, but your smaller, older dog is not getting like pummeled by the other one.
Yeah.
How do I get my dog to stop reacting to dogs while in public? She's very treat motivated. So that's Taylor. So there's like so many more questions. Like, how old is your dog?
Yeah.
In public, like where in public? On a walk,
at the mall,
at
a park,
Starbucks, like where is, so Taylor, if you're on there, I'll like scroll down. So one, you need food. Again, you need a professional to tell you what to do. So I actually, one of my trainers was watching me do this session today. And it was, I posted it on, who keeps texting you?
My watch is dying and it's like 10%, 5%, 1%.
So,
sorry guys.
Yeah. So it was a reactive shepherd that I posted that everyone had comments on, of course, because I was just showing like the threshold. And so anyway, I had that reactive shepherd today. My other trainer was holding one of the dogs, and it just like, I coached the owner. All right, swing out far, like we were in the big field in Jupiter. I'm like, swing out to come back, and he wouldn't eat. So we were using space. He got really excited when he like ran away. So we used space, and it was like coming back and coming back. Like by the end, we were like by the fence. I'll have the videos. I'll post them for the reactivity. We were by the fence, and like he looked like he even like wanted to play, but it was the end of the session. So I wanted to like, but it's like, and it's not even just about me. It's like that owner never would have gotten to where they were in 30 minutes today if they didn't have somebody coaching them.
Yeah, it's super important.
So with reactivity, I feel like you have to have somebody, like I can tell you, use food when they look at the trigger, like treat them. It's just, it's really hard, the timing for reactivity.
Yeah. I was going to say, like, I think the last Q&A I talked about, like I like doing the, like my new rule of 3, I kind of made up. Rule 1, your dog's looking at the trigger, whether they're reacting or not, you're treating. Mm-hmm. Then second part, they will stop doing that. They'll see the trigger and look up to you expecting that treat. And then you do that. You can start working on looking away, they get the treat. And then step 3, you start moving closer. But with that being said, yes, you can do that on your own. But there are so many things in the bigger picture that if you don't have a trainer with you, you can miss. Body language, little cues, their ears, their tail, like what that other dog is doing. If something new entered the environment, like, yeah, you need a professional because I mean, if it's just me and a dog, I miss things sometimes, and I'm trained and certified in it. And so it's just really helpful to have that extra set of hands with you, set of eyes with you to help you and your dog. And you don't always need the trainer, but we will give you the tools and tell you what to look for and notice so that you can be successful on your own in the future. Yeah.
And even in the beginning of the session, I was like, his threshold, like the first video is him react. The dog was like way back. Yeah. Like not even in the smaller yard of Jupiter, like in the outside part. And this dog was on leash with me reacting. So the fact that we got there, but again, you need that coaching. So Taylor, you can do virtuals, but we just need a little bit more information about like public. It could just be like your dog is barking at people at Starbucks.
Yeah.
I would bring like a Kong or something for your dog to do. Just think of alternate behaviors. Anytime your dog is doing something that you don't want him to do, think of like what alternate behavior, what can you help them do instead?
The dog is the learner.
Yes, the learner. That. I do love that. We stole that.
Yes, we did.
Oh, wait. No, I have so much stuff. Oh. Yes, you did miss the floor sipping question. So, Che, I think it is. You want to start with like a yoga mat. You can do different things like that to start. Play games on it with food so that they get like accustomed to that. See, there's a lot of. A lot of like questions here. Oh, Taylor, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm definitely open to a virtual consult. Yay. I'm going back, guys. So why don't you think of it? Oh, bully stick with bully stick holder is amazing. Yeah. So that's another thing with these things. You just want to make sure dogs can choke from these things. I know dogs have died from chewing these things. Oh, what do you do when your puppy cries all night?
You want to monitor your dogs when they have any sort of puzzle or snuffle or bone for sure. So keep that in mind, guys.
Yeah. So this one says Grammy. Mine goes out 7 to 8. I'm assuming a puppy. And then goes to sleep. I wake him up between 10 and 11 to take him out quickly. It depends what time you wake up in the morning. So 7 to 8 is kind of early, but dogs can also get used to that. Like I've put my dog at 8:30 and gotten him out at 8 in the morning. Your dog, you're going to have to wake up your dog every day forever at 10 to 11 if you keep doing that. So your puppy will go out you said that before about, well, does he go? Puppies will go out and pee every single time. So I think what owners think is they had that success. They were like, see, I knew he had to go. Their bladder is the size of a pea. They're like an old man or old little lady that, has to get up 5 times in the middle of the night to pee. They will go, but holding it longer and longer, will help them with that.
Yeah, it strengthens those little
Claudia
muscles.
said, hi. What do you do when your puppy cries all night in the crate? That's Diana. So Diana, I would need more information. So how old is the puppy? Did you get the puppy and the puppy's already 16 weeks and he cries all night in the crate? What is crying all night? Is it actually all night in the crate? Does your dog defecate in the crate? Sometimes people say all night, not that I think that they're exaggerating or lying about it, but I what is it, just every now and then waking up and whining, or is it actually crying? I think I would need more information for that to see for that. Okay. Next, Crystal. So I'm still looking at this. He goes right back to sleep until 7 p.m. I'm thinking 7 a.m. Grammy. 7 a.m. Yeah. So I think he would probably be able to make it through. Even if you put him in at 8:30 or 9, he'd probably make it through the night, because he's kind of showing you he can hold it that whole, that 10 or 11, those 2 extra hours. I think he could be able to do it. Again, if that's your routine, that's fine. Your dog's going to stick to that routine and he's going to wake up at that time. They're just, so my mom she still does this. Oh, it drives me crazy. Ruth. So she would, all right, first of all, I think I've said this before. She would feed, so dogs get used to the routine. So she would feed my dogs growing up at 3:00 every single day. Not a minute later, not a minute sooner. Mm-hmm. And I used to get annoyed because when I was older in high school, or she was working or whatever, General Hospital started at 3:00. So I would be interrupted and they were relentless.
You're shut up, I'm watching my show.
Barking at me. I'm missing the beginning of the show, which is always the best because the last one ended on, Sunny. Or do you not? You probably don't watch General Hospital.
I don't watch General Hospital.
So
is that a soap?
It's a soap opera. Yes, it's a soap.
I love it.
I watched it for years since I was 6 years old.
Oh no, I would come home and watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Charmed.
Oh, I mean, we're yelling about our kids being on YouTube and all these things because there is crazy stuff on there. But yes, my mom let me watch General Hospital at 6. There was love scenes, killing. It was.
Guys, I watched Shrek as an adult, and looking back, I'm my parents let me watch this. Watch Shrek again as an adult.
Goonies again.
Watch what?
I
didn't watch the Goonies. That's a little.
I'm aging myself. Anyway.
Oh, stop it.
I was going to make a point of what we were talking about. What were we talking about? Puppies?
Your mom.
Oh, my mom. So she would feed them at 3:00. So whatever. She'd wake me up for General Hospital, blah, blah, blah. So even now, with my dog, she does the same friggin' thing. It's her dog, Bachi, it's the same time. And it'll be I swear to God, he eats at 4:35. He has diabetes now. So he has to eat between 4 and 6. Mm-hmm. And And it'll be like 1:30. I'll be at their house and Bocce will just like start barking at them. And she'll be, Bocce, we're not eating dinner right now. Like I'm like, it's 1:30. So then she gives him the treat. It's like this whole ritual that happens that he doesn't do with me.
I got lucky because we feed Raja every day at 5 for dinner. Like 5:30 between that and 10 a.m. if we're home or not. She just stares at me. No barking, but she just stares. Now that she's had her knee surgery, though, one time she went, roar, and Guy was like, "Oh my gosh, she never makes noises. Is she okay?" And picked her up, put her on the couch. So now, anytime she wants anything, she like speaks to us in her little language, and I'm like, "Guy, you ruined her. Sweet little quiet wrinkle is now just so vocal.
You guys,
it's cute, but it's annoying."
Right, but your dog's behavior is a lot to do with what your behavior
one time she stared at him. She made this like whimpery, like pitiful noise, and he was like, "Oh, come on, you want on the couch?" And now she'll literally be on the couch, and it'll be bedtime. Well, what she thinks is bedtime. Whenever it gets dark, she wants to go to bed. She turns and looks at me, and I'm like, "Who are you talking to?" I'm like, "Stop that!" It's very freaking cute.
It's cute, but then what do you do? You probably do what she wants.
TV right now,
right?
No, I mean, I try to figure something out. Usually, I'm like, "Do you have to?" I'm asking her. I'm that owner. Do you have to pee? Do you have to poop?
Yeah.
What do you want to do? Do you want snuggles?
So again, they yes, Mom, I want all of those. I want all of those things. So just be careful when you are teaching your dog different things because of that. Yeah. Okay, I had a question here.
I always tell people, I'm like, yes, I'm a great trainer, but I am also a really terrible dog owner. I do all the things I tell you not to.
Yeah. I always say, if people hear me yelling at my kids, I'm like, I yell at my kids. I don't yell at the dogs, guys. Just my kids.
I can vouch for that.
I don't yell at my dogs, but my kids.
I've never heard her yell at Finley ever, or Little Ritz.
Have you heard? You definitely heard me yell at my kids.
For sure.
It's very frustrating, guys, sometimes. It's not easy. Okay. I have a 7-month-old sheepadoodle, and he's been biting our family really bad. We have tried everything tactic on Google, but nothing works. Oh no. We got him a shock collar, but whenever we buzz it makes him more mad, which makes him more aggressive.
Yes.
It feels like nothing works, and it's absolutely torture. Is there anything we can do to stop this?
Sheepadoodles are large, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're big ends, so you don't want that. Yeah. Oof. So the shock collar, the result you're getting is why we say not to use it. Because it actually makes them more frustrated, more worked up, because it doesn't show them what to do. It just hurts them when they do something you don't want them to do. Mm-hmm. So then they're getting frustrated, they're confused, and so they're doing it more because they're trying to communicate something to you. They're not getting it across from you, but every time they're trying, they're getting the zap.
They're getting the zap. And did she say how old?
7 months.
A 7-month-old, they're in their adolescent. So I would say they've probably been practicing the biting and everything. I mean, do you know how many people we see? You guys are probably like, you're petting, no bite, no bite. I'm like, just don't pet. No, don't like pet your dog. But I mean, also that she is reaching out. Shock collars will make things worse. Mm-hmm. And I would say again for the biting, I bet you the dog is not crate trained. I bet you the dog's not getting enough sleep. Again, they're still like growing and developing. Yeah. They don't come out like a puppy, just like baby, just like every other little being in the world. You don't come out whatever animal you are and you're like independent and you go like you have to learn, you have to grow, your brain has to develop.
And new people are so exciting. Yeah. So it's like, how do they express that? They can't talk and tell you they're excited. They're going to jump, they're going to bite, they're going to bark, they're going to hump, they're going to do all those things that animals do. So he's just probably just like high on life,
and he's probably frustrated. He said biting the family really bad, so hopefully I asked her for her email so that I can
definitely do a virtual, because that can get scary and you don't want to get hurt and you want your dog to get hurt either.
I have a 1-year-old super gentle loving Labradoodle. He has come to work with me every day since I've had him. Yesterday when approaching a stranger, he bit his hand. What should I do?
Was the stranger approaching you, or were you a stranger?
I don't know, because it's on
stranger.
It's on Instagram, so I don't know. So there again, so many questions. So dogs mostly don't like to be pet or reached by stranger. You did say it was a male. How much male experience? You do say you go to work bring it to work every day, but you may only have like one male that he's known from a puppy, and you haven't socialized him with any other males. Like,
what happened before this was a dog just in like a really stimulating situation where now he's just like over it. He's done with his day, and now he's getting yet again another pet from someone he doesn't know.
Yeah. Dogs bite for a reason. It's unless there's something medically going on or something neurologically going on, dogs don't just bite out of the blue. And a lot of people say like he just bit out of the blue.
Yeah.
It's just you haven't. And listen, I don't know. Like, I know nothing about horses, right? So I don't know what a horse is communicating, like what he's doing. So if you don't, I hate when this does this. If you don't know what, hold on, I'm fixing this.
We just had a dog at work who, just a little puppy, all of a sudden bit his owner, and they brought him in like, what the heck? Like a mean bite. He actually ended up, they took him to the vet because then he had diarrhea, and then his fecal came back. He didn't feel good. And they were reaching towards him, and this tiny little sweet snuggle your face off puppy, like asks for pets and wants to be touching you all the time, bit because he's like, I don't feel good right now. You know, so they're trying to communicate something to you.
And I think, again, if your dog is biting or you have your dogs biting, or there is dogs that are biting, one, definitely seek a professional. But I always say this, dogs too, if it's like if every stranger pets this dog when he's coming to work, again, I'd have to know how long the dog was coming to work, all of these things. But if every single person is reaching out, and then eventually he's like, I freaking don't like when people are like petting me. I don't like it.
I still go back to the analogy that you made where you had said, imagine if every single person that walked up to you on the street put their fingers through your hair and played with your hair. That's how that would make you feel. One, I want to go take 100 showers. It gives me the heebie-jeebies. But that's like, I don't love that. I don't want strangers touching my hair. And yes, there's some dogs that will come up and approach and push up on you and want, like, act as if they want those snuggles. But like, yeah, think about that. You got to give him a break every once in a while. If your dog's not going up and like asking for it, like, I'm pretty sure that he showed some precursors before that bite happened that you may not have noticed because you didn't have a professional there to help you.
Yeah, I'm having them email, but definitely if your dog is biting, you definitely want to like call us about that. Do you have any advice or tips for training a puppy not to chase a cat? So I've actually done a lot of this.
Please tell me, because I get that question.
Yeah?
I'm like, I don't know. I train dolphins. I don't have to deal with cats. I'm not a cat person.
I would say, okay. So for cats, first of all, do you know Simba and Del Rey? Okay. So Simba, they just got a cat, a little kitten. The video, it's a golden. The videos of this dog and the cat laying together, like the kitten thinks that's his mama.
Oh, that's freaking cute though.
Cutest thing ever. But yes, so for cats, so usually takes overnight boarding for dogs. We'll get back to that. Sorry, I'm multitasking, guys. It usually takes at least a month for the dogs to like acclimate with the cat. One, if a dog starts chasing a cat, your cats are going to like hide in the room.
Yeah.
So, and then they're not going to want to come out. So it's the same thing. Crate management, have your dog on a leash with you with like a Kong. Like let the cat get comfortable in coming out. Now, ooh, that was really close. You can definitely teach a leave it, go to your plate. All of those things are fine. But like you said before, first we have to like stop it. Right? So let's start building the association that when the cat is out, you're going to get this bully stick, this Kong, this something with me on the leash. Gates, because the cats can usually like jump over them. So first you have to set up the house that the dog will be. And it's also exhausting. Am I going to have my dog on the leash the whole time the cat's there? No. You're going to give your dog a Kong when the cat's out. And then you're going to put your dog away in the crate.
One thing I will say is please don't do it in a room with like closed doors where the cat can't leave if it's uncomfortable, because that's really important. And my best friend has cats and she does this all the time, and she's great with it, with like helping with her new dogs and stuff. But like she will say like, yes, I will do these things. I'll have my dog on a leash. I'll do this stuff. But I always want to make sure still, if my cat wants to leave, they can leave whenever they want. Because it's the same thing with a dog. If you like shove them into the airport and they haven't been practicing behavior, never been to that busy environment, they're going to shut down and it's going to hurt them more than help them. So like make sure they have an escape route.
Yes, 1,000% escape route. But I love doing cats and dog stuff. And you can also teach a cat to touch, to target, to sit, to down. It's like so fun.
The first mentor I ever had when I started dolphin training, she had a cat that she taught to like shake her paw, jump through hoops. Like cats can be trained too, guys.
Oh,
like,
they're so fun.
They literally can be trained just like dogs. Same stuff.
So somebody asked, what are your thoughts on overnight boarding for dogs? So if it's with me, it's great. I don't trust a lot of boarding places. There's a place across from us that we trust that my dog boards, but they have somebody sleep there, and they also have 24-hour cameras. So even if you were unsure, you can watch the cameras. Somebody's staying there. You can see exactly what you're doing. Is my dog, because I remember when I first started boarding my dogs there that are not with me anymore. Well, Ritz used to, but with my other two, so the three of them will board there. What was that?
I thought something was on my arm. I keep getting touched, but it's a plant. There's a plant.
I wish I hope you can't see it right now, but on the YouTube you can see her kind of. So they would board together, and in the beginning I was like, oh my God, are they going to be pacing? Are they going to be up all night? But I was able to see and see what they were doing, and they were just cuddled up together. I was able to see them in group. They kind of just stayed together, like in their thing. So I would say for boarding, I do not trust like board and trains. I do them, but I also know what I do. You want to be really careful because they'll use shock collars, different things to get the behaviors. But I would say find a boarding place that you like trust if it's just for going away or somebody come to your house. Like there's a lot of options now.
And do like a test day with your dog too.
Yeah.
Like make sure your dog's okay because
while you're still in town.
Yeah. Like you're literally like in the parking lot, the dog's doing its thing, you're waiting.
Yeah.
You know, I also think to monitor like the group play that you get during that. I'm just not a fan of that. I just feel like it's not trainers monitoring the dogs in a lot of places. So again, you have to be really careful. Like just because your dog is small in the same age does not mean that it should be in that group of dogs. I feel like I've heard a lot of like horror stories. So do like your research on what the play groups look like. Like it's great. I love where we board too, like the facility across from us. But what's great is like the dogs that board there just sleep there. And then we pull them over and they train with us. So if they have like a training package, I think that's really important too, if they have something like that.
Yeah, we're lucky that if you do a board and train by us, they sleep at the other place and then we pull them for training. Let me just see if there's anything else that jumps up because we're almost finished. I have a 9-month-old Saint Bernard that loves to jump. How can I help to break his jumping?
Saint Bernard.
I know. So I had somebody... This is Grayson. I'll text her, call you in a few. I post jumping all the time. I feel like most of the dogs that are jumping, I posted one today that I really loved, and I posted a puppy, boxer puppy from Peggy Adams when I was just there, and all the comments were, that's not real. That doesn't work. Like, all these crazy.
Then what are you watching then?
You people are crazy.
You're crazy.
I mean,
it's AI. It's not actually you.
Crazy stuff, but
nuts.
Jumping happens because it's reinforced. Now, you're not going to let a Saint Bernard like jump all over you and hurt you, but there's different things that you can do. Again, like when people say it doesn't work, it probably doesn't work because your timing was off or something. Like, you can do different things. Like if you walk in the house, you can take treats, scatter them on the floor, let them calm down, eat those. Then as soon as he comes up to you, ask for that sit and give him the reward. And ask for that sit and give him the reward. They'll repeat that. But the problem is if your timing is off on asking for the sit, if you don't have the right reward when you throw the food, there's so many things that can happen that it's just so much better to ask a professional that knows what they're doing to help with the jumping. I love working with jumping and pulling. I love reactivity too, but jumping and pulling because the dogs that I work with, they're the first time I'm working with them. They've never trained with me before. I've never trained with them.
It's like a blank. Seconds. Isn't it rewarding though? It's like a blank slate, and all of a sudden you see the light bulb turn on, and they're like, "Oh, I feel that tug, and I get a treat for coming back to you." What? And then all of a sudden they get them the leash, and they just automatically come back to you. Like it's very rewarding to train them.
It is, and if you know, like what you're doing, or again, it could just be minor timing things. You just especially for jumping. I can guarantee the dog. So there was a dog today I did a private for. The dog's jumping. I'm like, have you guys been practicing? Because I haven't seen them since before the holidays. She's like,
you're like, you broke your dog when you were gone.
We
what did you do?
Regress. You see that he's jumping, and then she's like, and he's biting, and I'm walking, and he's like biting, nipping to get my attention. I'm like, who's giving him this attention?
Yeah.
Who is doing it? I don't know, maybe my son. And then she's like, I feel like I kind of yell at him when he does that.
I was just about to say,
yeah,
you guys, giving attention isn't like, oh, stop biting me. It's literally being like, oh, stop. Turning your back, like moving your body. Anything that you do that changes the environment for the dog can be reinforcing to them.
Yeah. Even eye contact.
Yeah.
But people think that that's permissive to... that you're not saying no and correcting them. You know how many people say to like knee the dog? Like that is so mean and cruel. You do not need these little, like I saw a trainer posted on social media and there was like this cute little golden. He was so happy. Did I send you this? He was so happy to see the guy. It was the trainer. Like just says need him a couple of times. It was like,
do you want to hear a horror story?
Town.
And I was like 8 years old. And we had the first dog that was like mine. He was lab named Cooper. He was the best boy. And we were like, oh, let's take him to puppy class. So we took him to obedience class. It was on leash. My mom and I went every week. And then we started working on loose leash walking. And Cooper was so smart. She always used him for like the demo dog and things like that. But so one day she's like, okay, so I want to use Cooper. Come on up here. She took him. She goes, I want to work on pulling on the leash. And he's a puppy, right? So we didn't work on that stuff yet. So he gets to the end of the leash. It makes me nauseous. I still see it because I cried because I'm 8 and I'm like, this lady she gets to the end of the leash. She yanked and snapped him back on a collar, snapped him back so hard. He like whirled in a circle, peed everywhere.
Oh my gosh.
Never pulled again because he was so scared. And these are things people think, knee them, just yank on the leash.
People will say out there though that that's a good thing. See, you had to do it one time and then you didn't have to do it. That's the problem. Of course,
if you scared me so bad that I peed my pants,
you probably never do it again.
I probably never do it again.
Making everybody pee their pants if
literally
they annoy
in
us.
Public.
Yeah,
people,
like so rude.
It's so rude.
That's such a sad story.
I know. I hate that.
Anyway, so maybe this is like, I'll get back to it. When you put this on the podcast, do you put like some things that like we're talking about in the Q&A?
I definitely can.
So that people know that are interested.
Yep,
so
I can do that.
I have to thank Amanda Kreiner again for my podcast pal coming to talk with me because it is sometimes weird when I'm talking to myself.
She gets lonely, guys.
I do. And I like somebody to like feed things off of and different stories. And then like even you're like, wait, what? And then I can tell you about things like General Hospital. But anyway.
Shaving her lips.
Shaving my mustache. But thanks for tuning in to Barks to Basics, where you get mostly dog stuff and a couple other things sprinkled in.
You're welcome.
You can listen to us anywhere where you listen to podcasts, Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Spotify, anywhere. When you're driving, put us on and just listen. I promise you will get tips for either you or somebody else that you know. So we're looking forward to our guests that are coming up. So make sure you follow us. You can also follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, at Dynamite Dog Training, at Lucky Dog Training Club. And we will talk to you guys soon. Thanks again for tuning in.